This is from user KeyLettuce4741. And I'm guessing the 4741 is the last four of your social?
Yeah, seriously. Thank you for that.
Here we go. I unlearned the Christian God during a shroom trip.
Ooh.
That is the title of this post. In the last year, I've been doing therapy, healing my inner child and traumas. I have had extreme people-pleasing tendencies, which I'm still healing from and masked due to my upbringing, and wants to please everyone around me. My therapist was a spiritual person, and of course didn't push me to this, but led me to not only find the answer to my inner peace, but also find myself spiritually. Over some time, I practiced mindfulness and grounding and educating myself with spiritual awakening. I had recently left my life-sucking job for a more freedom to learn myself, and man, did I. It was the week of my birthday, and I decided that I was going to fast and break my fast with psilocybin, which, religious background, that's an intense way to do psilocybin. So good for you. I had set great intentions for messages and understanding. I had been questioning my faith in the Christian God because all my life, the God I've known was nowhere near the Christian God we've learned him to be. But I was too afraid to ever question it because the scriptures say you'll burn in hell for even being lukewarm. Love that they use that term. As I was journaling on my shroom trip, everything that I've worked on and knew clicked. The Christian God does not exist. God is literally in and is everything. Genderless and amazing and literally everything. I started loving everything from the pillow I laid on to the covers I pulled over me at night, to the walls being so neat and square, and that God existed in every fiber of everything, and that it should never be feared or made into a weapon to force people to do things, because we are God. I heard people saying this before, and as a sheltered Christian, I thought it was blasphemy for saying this, but it's because I didn't understand what was being said. God is everything and everyone is God.
That sounds familiar.
That's so familiar. But just because I came to this realization doesn't mean that my religious trauma went away completely. I joined threads like this to help heal with others in their journey with religious traumas, and even I still get the what ifs, especially being the only spiritual non-Christian in my family. It's nice to come back to spaces like this when I feel alone in my journey. I'm not saying to do shrooms or any recreational drugs, but I'm saying definitely focus on your spiritual journey outside of religion, because at the end of the day, we're all spiritual beings. That is a face of ourselves that need practiced on religious or not. You're not alone, and I appreciate your bravery to speak up and share your stories because they really help.
That was on the Religious Trauma Forum.
It was.
We got to get Key Lettuce on the podcast.
I know.
Share that story more.
Share that story. Tell us about it.
I mean, that's just beautiful.
And I just love how I love how they addressed that post that we recently went over of us saying the same thing, and having them even quote on how that used to be triggering to them until they knew what it meant, until you felt what it meant. And yeah. I think doing a spiritual dose of shrooms will teach you what that means. Because honestly, man, in my shroom journeys or psychedelic journeys, I've never come to a place where there is not a God. I've never been like, oh, there's not a spiritual being bigger than me. It's always been more of like, oh, this is bigger than we could ever know, and it is everything, and I'm a big part of it. And we should just love each other. And it always ends there of just like, love everything. You are privileged. This is a great life. Life is beautiful.
Have you, like in connection to this, what this person said, this idea of, which we've said a lot of this podcast, I'm God, you are God, everything and everyone is God.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of like extreme clarity that psychedelics can bring. Meditation can bring it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you had this sort of oneness awareness with all things? Because what you just said there was that you've always had the feeling that there's a God of some sorts, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was more of, we were raised to always believe the second you do like acid or shrooms, you're going to fall away from God because you're not going to think it's real. You're not going to think God exists. You're going to think you're God, right? At least that's what we were told. And it's kind of true, but it's not that egotistical. It's not, I'm God, I can do anything I want.
It's the opposite. It's ego death.
It's ego death.
It's literally ego death.
And so you realize that it's like, no, like the human species is all interconnected. The same thing with animals, the same thing with this planet. It's all bigger than just our humanness.
Yeah.
And it feels like, at least from an understanding of that, we are all part of the same God entity, which is just communal, societal based of love, of just like what transcends everything, and it's loving others and loving yourself. And that statement of like, we are all God scares Christians so much because they believe in just this one powerful God that has all the rules and the rights and the staff that's going to keep you from entering heaven if you do anything wrong. When in reality, it's like you have these trips and these experiences and you understand that just like, if love is true, that's not it.
Yeah.
You just feel it. It's like whatever this Bible is, it might have some scriptures that touch on good forms of love, but that's about it. The rest of it is like humanistic ways of control and ego. And you do these psychedelic journeys and that ego dissipates and you realize that you don't really matter.
Yeah.
We matter.
That can happen.
Yeah.
The goal, and if that does happen, it's scary and enlightening and freeing. Because I think like what we're doing right now is we're like having an analytical conversation about that experience. But like what this person is sharing, and I think what you just shared is like, it's not something that's easily conversed about. It's like this awareness. It's like this clarity that you can have. And it's not just based on psychedelics, right? But this is obviously the planet has brought forth some cheat codes to help access these things. And it's just like, I've really had that clarity, and then you backtrack and life is over consuming. And then you're like, that's right. Like, I just need to like let go and surrender and everything's okay. I'm okay. I'm a good person. And that sort of like universal awareness to feel that is so comforting and takes so much pressure off Christianity. To have that awareness, to be like this person being like, oh my God, I love my pillow.
Yeah.
I am the pillow.
Yeah.
To actually, and it's so hard for somebody to understand, like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're
must
literally,
be high.
you must be a psychotic person. Yeah. And it's like, no, I think that we in American society and this Western culture, we like to like stigmatize and say like universal like that sort of universal awareness is psychosis. I am God, you are God, everything and everyone is God. That person's psychotic. It's like, no, that person's clear.
Yeah.
And I think that like I know what that feels like. I've said that on this podcast and it pissed off a lot of Christians. So I totally, good for you, Key Lettuce.
Yeah,
plus the way that
Lettuce.
they're doing the psilocybin in such a medicinal, like I am
Journaling,
questioning written down.
Intention.
Like that is the way, like how do you want to benefit from plant medicine?
That's the way.
Intention, the work, do the work.
Go into it with intention.
And then when you do that and you come out of it and you have this story, come on our podcast and share it.
Yeah, please.